Hey, what's up, people? I go by the name Smade, CEO and founder of Smade Group, co-founder of Afro Nation, and you're tuned into the Clubelay show.
Welcome to the Clubelay show. I'm your host, LA, and today we have the undisputed, the man with the best beard in the industry, the CEO, the co-founder of Afro Nation, the man himself, Mr. Smade.
Thank you so much.
How you doing, brother?
I feel good. You know, I've been around for a couple of days in Canada, and I love it.
We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, I know everybody watching wants me to go direct like I always do at all of our talk show. But this time around, you know what? I want to divert. I wanna get to know the man himself.
Please do your thing.
I wanna ask. I have a question I've been meaning to ask. I wanted to ask you, what is the secret to the beard game? And are you related to Afrobeat?
Wow. Good question. A lot of people actually mistake me for Afrobeat a couple of times, you know, when they're not sure, you know, who it is. But Afrobeat is someone I've known for since it was like 14.
Wow.
You know, that was like over 10 years ago. So, you know, we kind of grew up together. You know, he used to have the punky kid and play hairstyle. You know, and I used to sneak him into clubs because he was very young. He was a young DJ. So I think we've connected for a while. You know, Afrobeat's family. He's now a great artist. You know,
wonderful.
Like the way he's moved from being a DJ. At some point, I think he was actually a promoter too. You know, so he's been in the events world for a minute, and to see him, you know, selling out shows and performing on huge stages. I think he was with Jason Derulo recently on tour. Yeah. You know, it's greatness. I love to see my people shining. So yeah, about the beard.
The shine in the beard.
The beard is just my mom and my dad put together.
Great genes.
You know, like it's so natural. It's God.
Shout out to Mom C.
Yeah, God's given. So yeah.
Are you a big family person?
Typical Yoruba boy. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in Lagos. You know, I'm from a huge family of 13.
Wow.
And I'm also the first son.
So breadwinner.
I'm also, you know, I've got my own family. I've got 4 kids.
Beautiful.
You know, and excited to have a lot of friends.
Beautiful. Love that.
Family.
All right. Speaking about growing up in Lagos and coming from a big family, I've always wondered about your jackpot story. Like, for the people that are non-Nigerians that don't understand the meaning of a jackpot story is when you take yourself to the diaspora to go make a better living for yourself and your family. What was your earliest or latest recollection of being in Lagos, and what motivated you to take that movement into?
Oh wow, great question, because I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, things were tough. You know, being the first son, like I said, you know, there's a lot of expectations, yet a lot of responsibilities on you. You know, and you have to deliver. Being, of course. You know, the first son.
You don't disappoint them in your home.
You never. You can't. You're not allowed to. You know, and living in Lagos for the first 19 years, you know, there was already, you know, something going on in my life. A lot of people could tell that, but no one knew what it was yet. Yeah. So I needed to go find out. And jackpotting was the best decision I made, you know, in 2004.
When did you go? Where did you go?
I went to the UK.
Straight to?
We were actually on holiday, you know, and I just decided, you know, I wasn't going back, just like that, you know. And my dad was really pissed off. He was like, I ain't gonna send you any money. You're gonna do everything on your own from now. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, you know. So I started hustling. You know, I got inspired by coming to America, you know. When The movie, yeah, okay. When Prince came out to leave his father and just go be his own man. Cool. You know, so that inspired me, and it's one of the best decisions I made. You know, leaving my parents and facing what I didn't know and becoming who I am today. You know, so it's the best decision to make, but you gotta be disciplined, you gotta know what you want and chase those dreams. So getting to the UK, I started picking my pieces together, started learning, researching who I am and what I wanted to become. You know, so I self-funded my education, my
Wow.
first degree, second degree. It wasn't easy at all
course.
at those times. It wasn't cool to be African as well, you know. I was racially abused. I used to be bullied, you know, so many things, you know. But I remember I used to pray a lot, and I still pray a lot, and I cried to God one day, like, use me to change the world.
And you're doing it. I feel like you are changing the world. And to go into the next question I wanted to ask, that was one of my other questions was, what was your inspiration to come with Afro Nation? You know, a lot of people, their journey to success, it's in different path. You know, I find the business we're in to be one of the most difficult ones, which is entertainment, because we have to please so many people. You know, you could work as a lawyer, as what every Nigerian parent wants you to be, as a mechanic, not having to please anybody, but just deliver what you have to do. But you're working with a lot of emotions, emotional staff, emotional audience, emotional artists. What inspired you to take that route, the specific route?
God.
God did.
Could only be God.
God did.
Yeah, God did. God made, you know, from inception to where we are right now to where we're going, it can only be God, because Afro Nation has changed the whole, you know, face of African people around the globe. It's changed how we think, it's changed our artists, it's changed our music, our fashion, our field, it's changing lives, it's changing how people perceive us, you know, since 2018, 2019 when we launched it. You know, it's changed. It's made our upcoming stars become mega superstars,
yes,
you know, over the last 5 years. And, you know, when you look at how much our artists charged when I first booked them in 2019 and how much they are charging now, it's a huge gap between $30,000 to almost 1.5 million. Crazy. In 5 years. And that's what Afro Nation has done. And it's also projected the beauty of our culture. It's beyond music. It's everything. It's the movement, and it's beyond any man. It's beyond me. It's beyond my partners. It's beyond anybody. It's for everybody. You know,
sounds like a calling from God.
It's a calling. It's a brand, and it's going to be here for a very, very long time. And it's already inspiring a lot of other festivals, a lot of other people, a lot of other artists, creatives, investors. It's already inspiring the world. So there's no going back.
There's no going back from this point on.
If you look at how I started, you know, back when I got to the UK, it was really, really hard, like I said. And to see where we are today, you know, it's wonderful, amazing.
It came a long way. No, London, the UK being the hub for Afrobeat in the diaspora, it's something I've always looked up to. And it's part of what motivates me to make a bridge between Lagos and Toronto as well. And through the journey that I'm also on, I've always wanted to ask, who was the first person you shared your first idea with?
Wow.
For Afro Nation, who was the first person
If I say it was God, it would be like, oh, this guy is just coming here to preach for us. But I'd say my mom, may her soul rest in peace. You know, she always believed in everything. And when no one listened or believed, my mom always supported me regardless and prayed for me. You know, she prayed for all my dreams. She prayed for everything I thought about and I shared with her. She prayed for my friends. She prayed for, you know, my mom was that person. She was my best friend for a long time. And even while people didn't see where I was taking Afrobeats to at the time when I was promoting it in the early stages, my mom always told me that this thing is going to be big. It's going to be like, it's going to take over the world, you know, when I had nobody else to talk to. But I'm glad that, you know, it's here now. Unfortunately, my mom is not here anymore, but I feel like she's here.
She's here in spirit.
Yeah, she's here in spirit. Other than my mom, you know, I've had a huge, great team around me over the last, you know, 20 years, 2 decades that have been pushing for, you know, this greatness. I've had a huge number of people around me, you know, even though they didn't see the vision, they were there for me at the time I needed them, you know, and they all played their part. Now, they might have moved on to do other stuff, you know, but I always give them their flowers. That at that time that I needed you, you shared that advice or you invested your time or energy into what dream I had for where we all are today. You know, most of them have come back to say, yo, this is what you were talking about. Oh, when we were on the bus, I can remember 20 years ago you were discussing this. So it's good for your old mates to see that dream that you had now become something massive. And, you know, it's beyond me now. So,
No, for sure. Do you recollect your first artist that you booked in London, and how was that experience compared to now that you're more so booking on a massive scale? Like, what was the first artist booking like, and what was it?
okay, so before I became an independent artist, promoter, before I became an independent promoter, I used to work with other promoters,
Okay.
you know, trying to learn. Like I said, I self-funded my education. I was studying marketing and advertising. So using things like the 4Ps, you know, and all the marketing, you know, stuff to promote Afrobeats was key to me because that was what I was studying, you know. And I had people like Black Knights, Cocoa Bar, you know, and you know, those that were there before I moved to the UK. So I had to just learn, you know, from those guys. And the first person I can remember was the Banj.
Oh,
The Banj was
Coco Master.
The Banj was the first one in 2009. Indigo O2, amazing show. A lot of people did not see or think like the show was gonna sell out, but I knew it was time, and I used to we didn't have the social media then. I used to go door to door to deliver and deliver tickets to people. You know, I used to go on train stations. I used to go to shopping malls, car parks to give out the flyers, put up the posters and artwork. You know, back then was really tough, but you know, it's when you think about it, it's the humble beginnings, right? You know, and I'm super thankful that everyone now, you know, from walking against the grain to everybody now trying to promote this movement going on. Everybody's saying that they're part of it, you know, and playing their own part is just beautiful to see, you know. I think that's it.
No, the band would have been a great act. I remember when he had the crossover.
So there was the Banj, was the Banj, and the first independent show that I did myself was Davido. You know, so Davido at that time, it was so super highly, and funny how I was in MSG, Madison Square Gardens last week, you know, so that was another emotional moment for me because I remember how David started his career internationally, in the UK especially. When he moved to the UK, he's never changed. David has never changed. He's always been a believer, a hustler. He's always wanted to do more than him, you know, what he can do. Give his all.
No, I love David.
He's always carried everybody along.
Yeah.
He's always been the same humble David I've known from day one. Yeah. And it's great to see that he's out there as one of the best, if not the king of Afrobeats right now.
No, he's a great ambassador for the continent, for the genre. Like my first encounter with David, I remember so well. I used to be a photographer, so I was shooting behind the scenes at one of his concerts at Phoenix, and it was sound check, and I was just so happy to be there. And the pictures I took, I transferred them to my phone and I edited them, and he called Tycoon, which is like his creator, like, Tycoon, come see what this boy just do right now. I'm like, oh boy, the boss my hair, like David, like he's so energetic, like his energy is so captivating, and he likes to spread that energy up.
He wants everyone to win.
He wants everyone to win, and I love that for him. And as I said, with what you're doing with Afro Nation, bringing in so many people.
He's the only artist that's given me the most support I needed in this industry.
In the industry.
I mean, there was a point when I was going to do a show, because I've done his shows multiple times in the UK, almost all his shows.
All of his single shows.
From 2013, even to taking him to the mainstream, O2 Arena, doing all the big shows, now festivals. I've always been a part of David's shows in the UK. And at the time, I think it was 2018, we couldn't afford David.
Wow.
He's just dropped Fire, Eve, and Fall. And those are three big bangers that he dropped within 3 months. And, you know, everybody was trying to get hold of David. And I went to him, I'm like, yo, you know, I want to do this show, but I can't afford it right now. And he's like, yo, do it anyhow you want to do it. How much do you want to pay me? I'm going with you. And that's something that I've never gotten from any other artist, you know, and I've worked with over hundreds and hundreds of them.
Seems
know?
like
So David is one guy that is a ride or die and he wants you to win.
No, he sees the vision. Like I said, I could tell that about his energy. And as I said, like, just the words that he had for me when I took in those pictures, just being an up-and-coming photographer, it was just like, it motivated me to continue making content and creating, just being an artist myself. And I wanted to ask about the vision. You know, what is the Afro Nation main vision, and also what is the mission from Afro Nation itself when you came up with this concept and how it's going?
So, in few words, the vision is to unite the world and also to impact the world in those few words. Yeah. To bring the world together. This is now one of the biggest black festivals around the world, if not the biggest, you know, and we've been able to achieve successful shows and fulfill those shows and deliver those shows in different continents. We'll be talking about, you know, Ghana, Portugal, talking about Puerto Rico, even having like some small Afronation shows in LA, you know, and then we've done Miami and Detroit, you know, which we delivered last year. So we're looking at, you know, visiting other continents and, you know, other countries. But for now, with what we've delivered, it's just beautiful to see that it's impacted the world.
It's amazing.
It's beyond music. It's making people have greater belief in their dreams.
You might end racism, you know.
Am I what?
You might end racism.
Well, if God wants me to be that one,
yes,
you know, He can. I'm here to be used for that,
for sure.
You know. So I believe I'm a messenger,
of course.
I have to, you know, fulfill my path in this life.
Speaking on all the countries that you guys take Afro Nation to in the cities, how do you go about selecting where to go next to reach a newer audience, and also how do you also select the artist that performs in those spaces?
So it's good. That's a very good question, actually. The way we select the artists is by demand. You know? So we go to a space, we understand the space, we know what people in that area want to listen to, and because it's also a destination festival, we go on our socials, we hear what people, all our clientele are requesting for. We give people opportunities to tell us who they want to see, you know, and we, and when I say we, the promoters, the founders, the investors, my partners, we decide within ourselves, you know, we have a strong booking team, you know, Josh Coram, who is the head of, you know, the artist bookings, does amazing work, and we've been working together for years now, and, you know, we just tend to pick the best artists that suits the festival, that suits, you know, what we're trying to put out there, the movement, you know, who represents our culture, you know, well, who is doing the most on social media, who is also active on all the musical platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, who is delivering, you know, what, you know, in terms of albums, you know, who is creating the excitement. And also as a club owner myself, and I've been in the club business for almost 20 years, when you're in the club, you see the songs that excites people. You see what makes people go crazy. You know, even the old songs, there's some old songs that still make people go crazy. And you think about bringing those guys back.
When you drop that superstar album,
when you drop
any club, it's going.
Hey, mommy me,
it's going.
Hey, and all of that, Ole Cool, and all of that stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, and P Square. So, I mean, this is what we live for. This is why we do what we're doing, you know, so.
And then the other part of the question, and how do you select the countries or the cities that you take them to?
Oh, well, with the first one, it was just God, I have to say again, because we were just looking for venues, and we started with Central Europe, which was Portugal. You know, looking at sites that would be perfect for what we were trying to do. You know, and we visited Faro, which is the beach we did the first festival, and that was the same beach that our forefathers landed You know, our ancestors landed from Ghana, the Gold Coast of Ghana,
Yes.
when the slave trade was going on.
Wow.
And so it was just, I saw some birds flying in the sky, and it was just so spiritual. I'm like, yeah, this is it. And every single time we do a festival, I'm always looking up and seeing those birds flying around. So it's a great feeling, you know, to know that we started the first ever Afro Nation on that land, on that beach, you know, that is connected to our roots, our ancestral story, you know, and then to now I've gone to Ghana, you know, where the Gold Coast is, where those ancestors came from to land in Portugal was just connected. But the most important thing is to understand the safety,
Yes.
you know, the community,
Yes.
the people, the tourism, the government, and all of these things that makes it a venue to put a festival on.
Of course.
You know, so
You know, I love. You might be a prophet as well. This whole episode is crazy. It's that God is speaking to you, and I'm like, God is just using you to impact people's life and to bring us great experience as well. Because while we're on earth, we have to be on here and have a good time as well, as much as we work hard. You know, you spoke on how you guys select the countries you guys go to. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, that the Nigerian show got canceled.
correct.
And that was heartbreaking for a lot of Nigerians, including
For me.
myself. I know you're Nigerian as well. Are you able to touch on that a bit, on like what
Yeah, I can remember.
happened?
I can remember, like, there was a time I mentioned that Nigeria wasn't ready for Afro Nation. You know, when we took Afro Nation to Ghana, there was a lot of protest that why not Nigeria, why not Lagos? You guys are Nigerians, you're taking this festival to another country. And I'm like, it's not about us. It's bigger than us.
Yes.
You know, and when you have a country like Ghana at the time, you know, creating platforms like the Year of the Return, making people, giving people opportunities to come back home and see their roots and, you know, their motherland. You know, we didn't have that when it came to Nigeria. We didn't have the support of the government. We didn't have the support of, you know, the communities the way we wanted it. And we wanted them to be ready for it. You know, so canceling Afro Nation Lagos was a blessing at the time because we needed them to be ready. You know, with the country had to be ready. You know, you're bringing lives, a lot of people to the country. You have to understand that it's got to be safe for them.
Yes.
You know, you have to be prepared and ready for, you know, for them to have a good experience. It's beyond the show now. You know, they come in. Some people will come and invest. Some people have never been home, and they want to come home and connect with their families or their long-lost friends, you know, and things like that, and invest in the country they've heard so much about on social media or on TV, you know, and we wanted to, you know, present that at the right time. And I don't think it's the right time right now. There's a lot going on in politics,
Of course.
you know, bad roads and all of that stuff. I don't want to bring out all of that on this
No,
interview.
we don't want
but
to.
we all know.
Of course, we know.
We all know that
We know
when
how
it's
Lagos
ready,
is to
you
be
know,
the time.
we'll be there, and it's just not time right now.
And you also mentioned in the beginning of the interview you've been in Toronto for about 2 weeks.
Well, yeah,
I
about
hope
10 days.
the people that are carrying you around made it exciting enough for Afro Nation to come to Toronto.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the safety, about the economy, about, you know, the political stance of things? Like, you know, we've got great healthcare, by the way.
Yeah.
If anything happens to anybody,
We're trying to promote.
I'm trying to sell.
We're trying to sell Toronto
sell
now
it
and
to the
Canada.
edge. And I just want to know, how are you feeling since you've been in Toronto? And is this something you guys are gonna look into to bring Afro Nation to Toronto?
Last year we had the first Afro Nation Detroit.
Yes.
And I had to come down to Toronto to, you know, put out the word. And it was amazing to see the amount of people that flew in from Canada to Detroit. And since I've been here in the last 10 days, from the day I stepped into the country, I've been having a good time, from the welcome parties to last night when I had a few people around like yourselves, you know, hang out and educate ourselves about what's going on, which is really important. I mean, like Toronto, Edmonton, you know, Canada as a whole is a beautiful place and is a growing community that needs to be tapped into. So I would not be far from this country. I love this country. I love the community. I love what you guys are doing, how you guys are holding it strong, you know, and I want to add to it. I want to bring out the beauty of that and show it to the world, you know. So if not Afro Nation, a big festival will be coming
Big
here
festival.
soon.
We're ready.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
But hopefully Afro
creators.
Nation. I know you guys want Afro Nation so bad, so yeah.
We do. We want it. We want it now. I'm ready to sell my house.
No,
We'll go.
you don't need to sell your house. No.
But
That's not what we stand for. We
No,
don't
for
want
sure,
you to
for
sell
sure.
your house, but it's
For
going to
sure.
be affordable.
Beautiful.
You know, it's we're planning a lot of festivals around the world right now. You know, we're not looking at just one country. We're looking at multiple
countries,
places at the moment.
From when you started, what would you say was the most memorable moment and the most exciting part of any of the shows, if you can recall?
Most memorable moment? When I got wizkid to come on stage at Davido's show. You know, that was 2018, and it was at the O2 Brixton, and it changed the face of Afrobeats completely. The whole industry changed. You know, that was the first time both of them performed in the UK together. And I can tell you, even David did not know that was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
You know, so managed to pull that off by the grace of God through my friend Dombazi, and obviously wizkid, being a good friend, you know, he pulled up and he just did his thing, and David accepted it, and both of them had a very, I'm going to send you the clip so you can show them this and this. You know, make sure you show it.
The alley-oop, we're gonna love it to you guys.
It was electrifying. Like,
beautiful.
It's something you want to see like over and over, and I'm looking forward to more exciting performances from both of them, you know, to the world.
Perfect. And we're gonna check the clip out right now just to give you guys a moment.
Yeah.
How far was the prize? Should I do it? Yeah! Should I do it? Yeah! Are you sure? Let's go, bro. DJ
That was such a heartful moment that I just watched. Thank you so much for that clip. Until we were able to get Afro Nation in Toronto, if it does happen, what are some of the artists we should be expecting from the Detroit show? And how would the Torontonians be able to relate to those people?
There's more excitement this year. You know, I mean, even though last year was our first, you know, show in Detroit, this year looks more exciting because there's bigger belief. You know, we have Keith Daniel, you know, we have Rema, and we also have Ashake. You know, Ashake, who's just, you know, done amazing performances at, you know, Rogers Place in Edmonton and also in Toronto. Yes. You know, we're looking forward to have him in, you know, Detroit. I think he's going to wow the crowd, you know, because he's performed in Portugal last year and it was amazing. He's also going to be in Portugal this year. Beautiful. So off the back of Portugal, we're coming to Detroit full force. We have the main stage, we have the Piano People stage, you know, that's going to be headlined by Scorpion Kings and Uncle Waffles. You know, so we have exciting acts coming, you know, and we're still adding our lineup. So over time, we're going to be getting more information about that. And it's happening on the 17th and the 18th of August this year. So
just 2 weeks right after Caravana. You guys don't spend all your money at Caravana. We're going to Afro Nation next.
Go get your tickets now. It's selling fast and it's going to be bigger than last year. You guys want to come there, tell your friends, you know, like I said, it's a destination festival. Until we come to Toronto, you guys to catch up.
That's our neighbor, Detroit. That's our neighbor. Just a drive, road trip. Get the squad, drop it in the group chat. Yeah. We're gonna be there. Hopefully we're there to cover the exclusive of the show as well to you guys, to bring it to you. And you know, speaking of Detroit, another person I noticed on the flyer that was very close to home was Party Next Door.
Yeah, we try to infuse everything and bring everybody out, you know. Yeah. And Party Next Door, you know, is a great artist and
from Canada.
And it's only right, you know, that we touch Canada a little bit too.
Oh, that's what's up. No, speaking of artists, I've always wanted to ask someone like yourself, because I feel like you're going to have a different perspective.
Okay.
Your Mount Rushmore of top 5 artists. what would you go for? It doesn't have to be in order.
Okay, in
Top five.
like any genre.
Any
or
genre.
top five.
Top five.
Okay, I grew up listening to Usher. Usher has always been my guy. You know, I had two sisters, so R&B has always been my thing. You know, but yeah, growing up, I met wizkid. You know, and we just like clicked from the start. I met Davido. You know, and these two, three. Yeah, I think Kiss Daniel.
Ooh.
Kiss
Okay.
Daniel, and you know the man doing the most right now, making every African proud right now, Burna
Yes.
Boy.
Burna.
Yeah, so.
That's a beautiful.
But if I was
vibe.
going to squeeze in a female in there, it's a tough one,
Tough.
you know, but it would have to be the most consistent of them all, you know, which is Yemi Alade.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, I've seen her on stage. I've seen several times. I've seen her personality, and you know, I've got real good relationship with Tiwa as well. You know, but you know, and you know, I know there's the Thames, there's the R Star, you know, there's Simi, and there's so many like King Madi, so many females popping up.
Yes.
But you know, Yemi Alade, you know, for me, when you see her on stage, that's a festival artist
Itself.
right now.
Yes.
You know, and when you look at all the catalog she has, you know how she carries Africa, you know, in her music, in her videos, in her presentation, in her personal life, and how she carries herself is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and she represents Africa. You know,
No, she does a great job. I love.
in
She
a good way.
dances. She sings
Like,
beautifully, and she
amazing, yeah.
has great hooks when she makes music.
Yeah,
You know,
and I've done a show. I did our first show in London as well.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's good.
a lot of first timers with you, eh?
Well, yeah.
Paving the way. No,
From the
love it.
times I wanted to be the African Live Nation.
No, this is.
You know,
this
I
is
just
a
had to try so many things.
vision from early. You spoke about artists that are festival artists. I have another question. You have 3 million, 5 artists, 1 million per artist, so you only get to pick 3. Based on who you feel are festival artists, it's not about how great their music are, but you just know about their performance style and if that's what they could do. Gonna make it a little controversial. We have Drake, we have Chris Brown, we have J. Cole, we have Kendrick, and we have Quavo. They're all currently beefing. Who's your top 3?
You had to drag me into this. He's trying to drag Afrobeats to hip hop.
I tried
Okay, let's
to.
do it. Okay.
Fuels it.
Yeah, what's your
So
question?
you had 3 million. Each artist cost $1 million, so you can only pick 3 to perform. You have Drake, Chris Brown, J. Cole, Kendrick, and Quavo.
For me, I'll pick the first 3.
First 3.
Yeah.
So that's Drake, that's Chris Brown,
Brown.
and that's Kendrick,
Kendrick. No,
or J. Cole.
J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
good
not a hardcore rap fan.
Yeah.
You know, so I love, you know, that I love J. Cole. I love Drake. And the third person was
Drake, Chris Brown, and
Chris Brown. Chris Brown, you know that's Mr. Afrobeat. So
No, he's killing it right now. Like
he's-
someone said, someone said we feel like Chris Brown is owing Davido some money.
not
because
necessarily. I think
the way they're featuring each other is crazy.
We have God sense,
Yes.
even outside of our genre, outside of our industry. And those God sense, an example is Chris Brown. And when you have people like that just genuinely love the culture, love the people, love the music and the sound, and you can see it in his music and how he moves, you just have to embrace him and, you know, support him. He's the first.
Yes.
You know, that I could say, and the most consistent of all the biggest superstars that has been in the space of Afrobeats and consistently influencing it. You know, he's worked with wizkid, he's worked with David, he's worked with Malay, he's worked with so many of these guys, and it's amazing to see, you know, the passion that he has for Afrobeats. And, you know,
He's a great mogul. Like I love Chris Brown.
I'm
coming up.
excited to see Chris Brown dropping a mixtape with either David or wizkid or anybody. Like
That would be a great collaborative
that'd be
effort.
amazing, yeah.
You might need a percentage for that one.
Well, trust me.
And that will be all today on the
Yeah.
Club Elay show,
Thank
where
you so much.
entertainment meets inside industry firsthand with the man himself. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much,
I appreciate
LA.
it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks to everybody in the room.